Hey, good morning and welcome to Integrative Preparedness. How are you all today? I wasn't going to do one for YouTube today. I didn't want to. I've got too much to do. I already put a couple of things up on the Patreon channel. As most of you know, I'm concentrating more on Patreon than I am on YouTube now. And I'd already put a couple of things over on Patreon, but in response to one of them, I got a message from one of our patrons that I thought was just too important not to share with you, and it's about the collapse, pretty much the collapse of everything. And I agree. We've talked about this before. The collapse is coming. Every day, if you're not with us on Patreon, you ought to be, but because it'd be good for you. You know, you'll get so much more. But every day I'll put up something to kind of start the chat. We have a chat feature over there in addition to videos that I put up. And I'll start off with a subject or a question or something like that, and it allows the patrons throughout the day to to talk back and forth about it, express their opinions, and or ask questions or discuss with me or others. And the thing that I put up this morning was I won't tell you exactly what it was, but the question was essentially, what signs are you seeing, or are you seeing signs, and what do you feel that they are indicating? Okay, the signs of things to come. What's happening? Very important. Very important to be able to do that. Well, I got one, a response, a comment on that from Tom Usher, one of our great writers. Actually, he's the one that I have bestowed on him the title of Poet Laureate for our Patreon channel. The guy is just an exceptional writer and thoughtful. He's a farmer in the Ozarks in southeast Missouri. And no, I'm not giving anything away. Go down around and roam around southeast Missouri. See if you can find Tom in the great forests down there. But I want to read to you what he said. And every word of this is something that everyone needs to concentrate on. Listen to it, absorb it, concentrate on it, and then answer any questions for yourself. And after I read this, and it's several paragraphs, but it's important. And then I'll talk about it a little bit. Okay. He says, the question again was, what indications do you see of things to come? Okay. He says, the breakdown of rationality at all levels. Now, I'll tell you, this is so deep. You might want to, after you listen to the whole thing, you might want to replay it. Okay. The breakdown of rationality at all levels. The overt corruption at all levels. The two or more tiered application of law and justice at all levels. The collapse of order in urban centers. Seemingly purposeful provocation anywhere and everywhere. It serves the cause of disorder. The coming collapse of nearly every Western economic system, a collapse driven by Western governments themselves. Weather anomalies that are no longer anomalous. The collapse of Christendom and the rise of evil filling the vacuum. Supply lines disrupted, and no political will to set things right by reducing the need for these thinly stretched systems, by returning manufacturing to historic norms and locations. Complexity in systems where it doesn't need to exist, mostly to catch the eyes of the tech-obsessed at the cost of reliability. In other words, all of the things we rely on have become snake oil, and the purveyors of this dreck snake oil salesman. This is brilliant. Tom, I hope you don't mind me sharing this with the YouTube community. I doubt that you do, because I know you like to help people, and this is going to help so many people who aren't on our Patreon channel. Hopefully it'll get them over there, but even if it doesn't, it'll help them here. And the worst part of it all is that all of this has been brought on in such a mendacious manner, so skillfully sold to the people as a positive good, that most under a certain age just accept all of this disorder as business as usual. They are blind to the rot, incapable of standing up to it because they don't know a different way. So true. Those of us that remember a time that things worked are getting too old to do much about it. This entire subterfuge of layered and planned collapse has been so skillfully executed over time that most didn't see it coming. Those of us that did have been called crazy Luddites and reactionaries. We fought where we thought it profitable, but mostly just kept our heads down and did what we thought prudent. We've stuck to the old ways, the proven ways. Now, well, I guess we'll be vindicated or eradicated, because the collapse is in motion, and the only way it'll stop is when it exhausts itself. Boy, isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? When is the collapse coming? That's the question a lot of people ask. Well, the answer is the collapse is here. The collapse is ongoing. The collapse started long ago, and it is continuing, and it's building up speed. And as they said, or as Tom said, when will it end? When it exhausts itself. Because if people haven't stood up against it yet, they probably won't. And even those who tried, well, they get stomped, to be honest. The system is so big, there's really no way to stop this snowball at the rate and the size it's going, because it's picking up mass and speed. So the question is, what do you do about it? Okay, and the answer is, of course, you separate yourself from the systems. You separate yourself from all of those, as we say in integrative preparedness, you separate yourself from dependency on all of those external interrelated systems over which you have little or no control. And the way to do that is simply to address the basics, but in a much more than basic manner. Okay, you know your basics. If you well, for those of you who are new to preparedness and just as a result of the craziness of the world lately, are just kind of learning, that's great. By the way, don't feel like you're left out. Some will try to make you feel like, well, if you're not prepared by now, it's too late. No, it's never too late until it's too late. So good for any of you new people who are now becoming interested in understanding the importance of being prepared. But the basics are simply food, water, shelter, defense, medical, and people groups. Okay, and each one of those can be, we could talk about those for hours. I mean, I talked about all of those for 6 books, right? I'll throw this in the Stonemont series, my books. I talk about it for 6 books, all of those things. This is just fleshing everything out, but those are the basics. I'll tell you how to get those in a minute if you want to. Those are the basics, but you have to come at this in a way that is far beyond basic. If you are going to have any hope of surviving the collapse, which in my opinion is assured, you are going to have to go at this, well, as full of speed as you can, as your time and your money and your resources allow you to. But you need to get to that point of self-sufficiency, self-reliance. Don't let anyone tell you that that is impossible. I've done videos before on the prepper pessimism, the people who approach preparedness from a negative standpoint, not a positive standpoint, and the pessimism that seems to permeate so much of the preparedness world. And that is, well, there's nothing we can do. I'm just going to hide and I'm just going to hunker down, and nobody can be fully prepared and all that. Yes, you can. I know people who are. I write the books about how to do it, and you need to do it. But however long it takes you, remember the old saying, the longest journey begins with a single step. Take that step and take another step tomorrow and another step the next day and another step the next day. Keep building and building and building. And as time goes on, you'll be surprised at how quickly you will have been able to establish a modicum of self-reliance, at least for a short term, and then just build on that more. the collapse brings a lot of challenges, a lot of dangers, and then I'll get back to what I so often refer to, and that is that the Chinese character for danger is the same as the one for opportunity. Well, with those dangers and those challenges comes opportunity, and it's up to the individual as to whether they can identify the opportunity. What's danger for one person is an opportunity for another. What's a loss for one person is an opportunity for another. It all depends on how you position yourself, how you understand it, and really what is your life outlook. Do you look at yourself as a victim, just waiting for the next bad thing to happen to you? And I'll be honest, a lot of people in the preparedness world are. Or do you look at yourself as a person who solves problems? I put up a video, was it yesterday or the day before, about the most important skill. And when I put up things on YouTube, this is just a little, especially for the newer people or people who are only on YouTube and not on Patreon. When I put things up on YouTube, it only gets a lot of viewers when it's catastrophic or something horrible is about to come, and that's not really who I make videos for. I make videos as instructional tools for those who really want to learn, and to learn how to do it, not just to get their rush out of hearing about something bad, but really wanting to learn and do something about it. And that's why I put much more on Patreon than I do on YouTube, because the things that I really put out that will really help you, they don't get that many views. I'll give you an example. The one that I put up about the most important skill. The most important skill to help you survive and do well in any kind of challenging situation. On Patreon, did very well. On YouTube, did next to nothing. Next to nothing. And so you know what I did? I pulled it off of YouTube. I'm not going to leave that stuff out there. I'm going to save it for the audience who appreciates it, who will listen to it, who will learn from it, and will apply it. So I pulled it flat off of YouTube. This one will probably get more because I'm talking about a collapse, and sadly many more people are attracted to that. Collapse, oh collapse. They want to be all scared, and then they want to go, okay, well I've got my scared rush for the day, now I can go be scared of something else. And I've talked before about fear not being the proper motivator for preparedness. It has to be an understanding of the realities of the world, of the challenges, and a feeling of responsibility for taking care of yourself and those who depend on you. Okay. So I've pulled that stuff off. Now, if you want the complete plan on how to prepare for the collapse that I think pretty much everybody understands is inevitable, and what shape that collapse takes, we don't know. But as Tom so brilliantly said, it's coming from every direction. It is every system of our modern world has been corrupted and is going to collapse. And those people who are not prepared, well, they're going to die or suffer a horrible future. But for those who really want to prepare, not just get all scared about something, but who actually want to think and apply themselves to preparing so that they will continue to live a good life, and it can be done, I would suggest this. The Stone Mount series is your next step. These are my books. I wrote them. There's 6 novels in a series. The Reversion, the Revival, the Renewal, and Appeal to Heaven, the Blessings of Freedom, and Hostages to Fortune. And I'm working on the 7th one right now, but I say they are the complete plan for preparing for, surviving, and rebuilding, and that's so important, after a complete collapse of everything. They're available on Amazon. I'll put the link down below. First one came out in 2017. People have been learning from these books ever since then, all over the world. I've had people tell me they've read through the whole series 5 times and are still finding things that they missed the first 4 times because it's so full of information, all wrapped up into a great story. Great story of characters you will love. You'll feel like you're in it. People have told me this isn't a book series, it's a life experience, and I thank them so much. And I'm not too falsely humble to pass that on and use that as a way to try to interest you in learning and getting this and learning from it. Now, another way you can get it, like I said, I put Amazon down below. You can also get them from me directly through our website, stonemont.us. This is called the Stonemont series. And you can get them from me. The website's down there. And if you get them from me, you don't get them as fast as Amazon gets them to you, but you get them signed. And I love doing that because I love my relationship with my readers just like I do with my viewers. And on that website, you can also find our T-shirts and our mugs. Oh, our latest mug, our most recent mug, our biggest seller, the only commie idea liberals hate. This is just, we can hardly get enough of them printed to get them out there and fill the orders, but we're doing it. So join us over there. If you're not with us on Patreon, guys, things are getting so challenging. If you are serious about preparing, and you have the proper concern and understanding about what's going on in our world, you need to, I would join us. I'm just asking you, I'm inviting you, come join us. The link is down below. The entry level is only $1 a month. I mean, $1 a month, that's nothing, I'll get people say, I can't afford $1 a month. Did I mention the negative so-called preppers? They say they're interested in preparedness, but they don't have $1 a month. What kind of preparedness is that? And I'm not putting people down. If somebody doesn't want to, that's fine. That's their decision. But to say that I can't afford $1, that's a problem. That's a problem. I can go down to the grocery store right now and walk around the parking lot. I bet I'll find $1 in 15 minutes. Okay, that's problem solving. That's addressing the reality of the world as opposed to simply adopting a poor me victim mentality. So what Tom said in there and so brilliantly is so true. I think probably most of you understand that the collapse is coming. There's very little we can do. Even if we have an occasional temporary reprieve, it's continuing. This snowball is headed down the hill and it's getting bigger and it's coming faster. And it's up to you to prepare to get yourself through it and to get those who depend on you through it. So there you have it. Check the links below for the Patreon channel for the books, and think about it. Think about it. Go back and rewind and hear again what Tom had to say, and then check yourself against that. See if you don't see the truth in what he said, and then see and ask yourself, what are you doing about it? Are you doing everything you can? Because I tell you, when the day comes that collapse is nearing its completion, if you haven't done everything you can, you're going to be in a world of hurt, and you're going to wish you had done what by then you will know you should have. Much better to get prepared, get to that point and say, phew, I am so glad that I prepared. Okay? You all have a good day. Remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. And I don't know if I'll talk to you tomorrow on YouTube or not. Like I said, I didn't want to do this one. I got too much to do, very busy. But I'll talk to you guys on Patreon tomorrow. I know I'll put a couple of things up on Patreon. And for the ones who just stay on YouTube, I'll talk to you sometime. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.